Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. It's your sponsor, Lui Nishma Zayim Yaakov Shalom Leah Basitzchok. We're holding in Bava Daf Dalit. We're starting in the bottom of Gimel base. The more brought that we have a machlokes, Rav Shmuel. What is Maveh? Is Maveh a Shein or Maveh is an Adam? More brings psukim. The more says the psukim were not exact for any one of the pshatim, but still. They still hold what they hold. So says the Gemara, Michdei, Kroi, we call it 6 lines at the bottom. Michdei Kroi, look at my daik, look at my daik. If you look at the psukim, none of them are perfect. Rav my time like Shmuel. Why does Rav not say like Shmuel? Sorry. Shmuel says a Mav is Shein. So says the Gemara, the reason is, Tana Shor we call Mila Dishor. I already said Shor. Shor includes everything about Shor. It's part of a Shor. The Shmuel, Nami, Hatana li Shor. So Shmuel says Shor. Why do I have to say it again? Says the Gemara, Omar Yudo Tana Shor lekarnoi, Umava l'sheinu. I spoke about Karen. I spoke about Shen. 2 different items of the Shor. I mean, the Shor has basically 3 major things that it has. Karen, Shen, Regel. So I spoke about Karen. Now I speak about Shen. I think most going to ask in a moment, what about the Regel? Why we forgot about the Regel? This is what we said. Lo riya keren sheina no lezekoi, kriya shen sheyesha no lezekoi. Don't what? So as Rashi says very strongly, Rashi brings out that always the first one is what you want to learn from. As the Mishnah said, the lo rizeh keri. I want to learn something new. So I'm starting with the first one. I'm saying, is this going to be enough to teach me about the Nezikin? And we're saying, no, it's not enough. So that's how you learn. Always the first one is when you be the teacher, and you want to learn something new, which is what's coming to be Melamed. So Gemara says, Lo riya keren sheina no lezekoi, kriya keren ashen sheyesha no lezekoi. By Karen, there's no ano. By Shein, there is ano. Continue the Gemara Daf Daled Dalef. Lo riya shen shekavnos la'azik. Don't be arrived with Shen that's not kavnos la'azik. Kira Karen shekavnos la'azik. Like the Karen, but he does have kavanah la'azik. So me, I would say Shane, there's no kavanah la'azik. But Karen, there is kavanah la'azik. So I can't learn Karen that's kavanah la'azik from Shane. Says the Gemara, that doesn't make sense. You should say the exact opposite. If Shane, they have no kavanah, you're chayov. Karen shekavnos la'azik l'kloshikin. So the milam, something we have kavanah la'azik is more of a reason to be mechayev than something he didn't do it intentionally. He's intentionally going to do something wrong. It's more of a reason to be mechayev than that. So says the Gemara, Itzich, yeah, I do need it. Why? You learn from an eved and a slave and a mid-servant. Even though they have intention to be mazik, they always patur. Right? So here will be the same thing. We'll see in a moment. We'll see in a moment how we know that. Why is a slave that is mazik you patur in him? So Gemara says, there's a very good big reason why the patur. There, maybe the Adon will go and upset the Eved, and the Eved is going to say, you know what? Oh, I'm going to show you. I'm going to go and burn your friend's Godish. And what are you going to do then? You're going to have to pay. So that's why you don't pay. Then he makes his Adon Chayav Me'amone every day. So the Gemara says you can't bring a rayo from an Eved and from a Amo that they're patur, because there's a reason why they're patur. Now here, as the Achronim points out, really have you a question, because what's the reason they have an Amo paturim? Is it midorais or is it midarabanim? Of course, it's midarabanim. You have to be chayav, and you want to bring a rayo or a bonnet patri. So what's the connection to our sugi? We want to say the ikar din. So you see from here that clearly it's deraisa. But if it's deraisa, meaning mina toiro, eved amo patur. So what are you giving me a reason? Says the Chazon Ish, yes, we're sometimes going to say the reason of the Torah. Even if you don't hold like Rabbi Shimon, the Darish Tarmi Dekro, but I will explain what the Torah is telling me. The Torah is telling me that they are potter. Why should they be potter? It's your moment. You say moment is chayav. Because they're going to do it purposely. That's what the Torah is pointing. That's why you can't learn from it to somewhere else. So the Gemara says, don't bring a rayo from a place that you see someone who's miskaven la'azik and he's potter. It happens to me. There's a special reason. Usually it should be the opposite. Says, well, you're right. It should be the opposite. Karen kavanos la'azik, it's more of a reason to make him obligated. Kiriyah shein shekavanos la'azik, like a shein, like eating, there's no kavanah, less of a reason to be chayav him. So that's why I can't learn shen from Karen. Shein, you have an enjoyment, so there's a reason to be chayav him. Kiriyah Karen shein ano lezeiko. Karen, there's no, so less of a reason to be chayav. So that's why I need to have both. That's a really wish to say you have to have both. Now, you can't learn one from each other. There's a change over here in the Svar. At the beginning, they more understood that if Kavanos La'azik is less of a reason than Yechayev. Yesh Hano Lezeko is less of a reason. And then they're going to change it around. How do we understand this change? So Reb Chaim tells or says, it's like this. Goes back to the Chakira that we spoke since the beginning. We spoke at Beis, we spoke at Gimel, the big Chakira. What is the reason Moment HaMazik is Chayev? Is it because your moment is Mazik? Or because you have to be sure because of a shmir. Meaning, the owner needs to guard his nechasim. That's the obligation. If you don't guard, you're chayav. What's the reason you're chayav? Because you didn't guard, or because it's your moment is mazik? Bechakiro, the Achronim, mentioned in Shabbos, we went into it in length, Machlekes of Shimon Shkop, and the Even Ezer. So the Chaim tells you that's the suffix of the Gemara over here. Originally we understood, let's see once explain it, it has to fit with everything that we learned, but just to say, Chaim tells us Mahalach. Originally, the beginning of the Gemara says the main problem is shmira, guarding. That's the main problem. The main problem is guarding. That's the main problem. So the more the shar has a tendency to go and do something, it's hard to guard him. You have a nice lemonade, or easy to guard. The shar is kavanos la'azik. Whoa, it's hard to stop him. You have the Shane, he wants to eat. He's such taiva, he wants to eat. So it's hard to stop him. So it's less of a reason to be chayav because it's hard to guard. But according to the end of the Gemara, the Gemara understands that the reason you chayav is because of moment amazik. Oh, because of moment amazik. Kavanos la'azik is more of a reason to be chayav. Anol azik is more of a reason to be chayav. You have your reason to make it chayav. So the Gemara says each one has a svar. For regel, my shar. What about regel? You forgot about regel. It says because it says the rule in the end. Well, you learn from here every time you have a mazik is mazik is chayav. So that's coming to add a regal. Let's go for lidnim behedyo. Why regal is the black sheep? You take it out from the equation. You don't mention. Hello marova tana shor l'ragloi umav l'sher. No. Shor l'ragloi. Shor means regal. Mave means shame. Not Karen. Shame and regular, that's what we're talking about in the Mishnah. That's what you say it. Loiria regular shezekamotzi. Regular is very normal. It happens the whole time. She walks, she doesn't. Kiriya shen zekamotzi. Like shen is not so common. Loiria shen lezeko. There's enjoyment. Kiriya shen lezeko. It's not, they don't have so much enjoyment. Yeah, that's the reason why you can't learn from each other. You say each one is unique. Says the more of a Karen, my shayo. You forgot about Karen? So we know because she's a chavamazik lasuya Karen. Chavamazik comes to add Karen. Why don't mention Karen right away? So this I have an answer. I want to speak about things that right away they're muad, they're chayav the full payment. But Karen, the first 3 times it's tam. You pay only half. So that's why it takes time to get to muad. So we don't mention it. So that's Rav's shita. So Rav says, so the more asked, more said, why did Rav explain the Mav is Adam? Because I already said Shar. So what is Shmuel going to say? No. He said Shar. Shar is one. Mav is the other. 2 different things. Says the more now, okay, that's very nice. What about, so now we're going to Shmuel. Shmuel, my time, Allah, my car. So I understand what is Rav's reason. Rav's reason is it says Shar includes everything. Shmuel says no. It's Shen V'Regel according to the Maskana. Says the Gemara, Shul Hatam Elam HaKarah, to speak about Adam. It says later, Shoramud, that's going to say in Daf Tizvav, later in the Mishnahs. Shoramud, Shoramazi, B'shus Hanizuk, V'Adam. It speaks about it. We're going to mention Adam later. Why did he mention it at the beginning? Well, Beniski moment Kamai. Beniski Gufa Kamai. I talk about Beniski moment. This big a Gufa. Gufa will get it later. So what Rav Nami Aktani Odom B'Sefer. It does say B'Sefer. Rav Aul Michshavi Be'adu Mo'odi Modoso. Here I'm listing all the things that are moved right away. So I say Shura Mu'od, and I say Shura Mazi B'Shus Nizak. When it goes into the property of the Nizak, right away Yichar. That's the din. And also Adam, I'm giving you a list. I'm not going down to the details. I'm just putting a list of all the things that are moved mitchilas. So my lawyer Ray, how's the lawyer Ray work according to Rav? How do they call it? Lawyer Ray has shor sham sakoifer. Don't bring a right from shore that is paying koifer when what? When you pay koifer, when the shore killed the Adam, a mud killed the Adam, you need to pay a payment called koifer. Kiri Adam shem sham sakoifer. Adam doesn't pay koifer. Don't find such a payment. By Adam, when he hits somebody, as we're going to learn, he's chayav chamisha dvarim. Nezek, tsar, ripu, shevet, boish. There's 5 different payments. Shor has only one of them, only nezek. So Gemara says that's why you can't learn from each other. They both to sa shavet. They all both go to be mazik. Right? That's what the Gemara says. Now. Says the just to mention over here, the Tosfos brings a question. The Riva says, you know why Adam doesn't shalim koifer? Because kibbum the harmony. We have a rule. Whenever you chayav misa, you don't pay. Here the Adam's chayav misa. He's dying. But a person who kills somebody else, chayav misa. Even if he did it b'shaygi, you don't kill him. But it's a mechayav of misa. This thing could bring into misa. It would be amazing. Whenever you have sin chayav misa, you don't pay. So that's the reason you put, not because you don't have din koifer.
Yeah, but why you don't pay? Not because you don't have din today. The fact is, because you're Peter, you're potter today.
Right.
But in the way you have.
You're not potter. That's the question. The Gemara says that Adam is less than a shar. Right? That's what the Gemara is asking. So that's what the Riva asks. And also, the Riva wants to say maybe you do shoygeg, and we're going to differentiate between shoygeg and mezid. But the Tosfos says no. The loy miftar mikshikim l'Rav. You don't say Kim L'Ravini. Why not? So yeah, this is a big discussion why you don't say Kim L'Ravini. One reason is it says that koifer is a kapara. Koifer is not a regular payment. A regular payment, the din is that you have din Kim L'Ravini. But koifer is not a din regular payment. We already mentioned earlier in the base that koifer is a din special payment of kapara. It's like to rectify a sin. Then you don't say this klal Kim L'Ravini. And there's many other reasons of the achronim that they can't explain this Tosfos. But this is just to know that there is a discussion. Do you say Kim L'Armineh regarding koifer? Says the Gemara. So the tzal shuvah shalem shedarkol azik, they do hezek. The chishor darkol azik, shor does nezek normally. It's going to be muad. Yeah, muad does. Muad darkol azik. Is it dark? Yeah, kevan de'ayed orchu. Yeah, we consider it to be normal. Adam darkol azik, is Adam normal for him to be mazik? So it's going to be yoshin. When he sleeps, he's mazik. Yoshin darkol azik, that's true? So yes, kevan de'kayin fu poshin, he's putting in and out his legs, orchu. So it's orchu. Now Tosfos brings over here the Yushalmi. The Yushalmi says that if a person went to sleep and there was nothing there, and then someone went and put a vessel over there, you put it. Because it's not his fault. But if you want to sleep next to a vessel, or next to an Adam, and he kicked him in his sleep, you're responsible to guard it. Adam shmiras gufa elav. Who? Adam, nobody's responsible for him, he's responsible for himself. Shmiras alecha means you're responsible for it. Here, that's the same person. So more of the time, according to you, Aditani Karno said, Arba of the Zikin. Karno did have a brace of the Zikin, he mentioned it clearly. How does that words of Shmiras alecha work? Yeah, you fix it. Meaning, the rule is that you have Shmirah, by Adam, Shmirah is Gufa. And it's not exact lotion. Doesn't go into Avdallah with base, Hachinami, Adam, Shmirah is Gufa. That's what will be Shmirah is Gufa. So as the first you point out, because we're not so happy with the Mavi, according to Shmuel and according to Rav. It's either Adam, it should be Boye, or it's Shane, and it should be Novu. One is water than water. So the Gemara understands now that the water causes the fire to heat up. So no, michtiv mayim novu tavesh. The opposite. The water is not being. You don't refer to the water. The water is causing the eish to be novu. And so okay. So you want to say mav first to eish? So why don't you say the mishnah mav is eish? Because you see that the lotion with this connotation works on fire. Says the Gemara, ever is ish. So I have double. So maybe you come to explain mave, which means ever. It's not 4 of us singing, it's only 3 of us singing. You want to say sure that it has 2 things, because it has shen v'regel. Let's say you want to say that more the Mishnah said you have shor and mave, they both have life to it. Says if you want to say the mave is a fire, right? The 2 my karesh, the sentence doesn't make sense. Ox and fire are not like fire. If you said fire, why do you mean it's not like fire? So the Mishnah clearly saying that hever is fire and mav is not fire. So mav cannot be fire. Water does not work. So immediately mav you're left with either Shane or Adam. Says the Gemara. Tani Rav Shaya says that his brayso shloisha sar ovos nezikin. There's 13 ovos nezikin, not 4. What's the 13? Shor mechinam ve'ashoyel noisesachar ve'asoichet. You have 4 shoymim, right? The 4 shoymim that we're going to learn is you have shoymichinam, someone who guards for free for no money. He is patur for anything that happens except shia, except he was negligent. Hashoyel, the other extreme. That's what Taisa said. That's why we're doing the order, taking the extremes first. Hashoyel you chayav in everything except meisa machas meloch, who died doing the work. Noisesachar ve'asoicher, according to one man, are they equal? The socher means someone who gets money for his schirus, for his guarding, and socher means a renter. They're chayav in Geneva and Avedo, according to one man, you compare socher to the socher, it's chayav if it's stolen or lost. So that is the 4 shemim. Nezek tzar ripushev boish is the 5 nizikin of Adam. So 4 plus 5 is 9. The 4 of us the mastistin together comes out to be 13. Hatles, that's 13. By us, why our Tana did not say it? We didn't speak about Niski Gufu. We're not talking about Adam. So the 9 the Rishai is mentioning is all Adam. The 4 Shoymim and the 5 Nizakim that Adam it pays for 5 payments. So that's why I didn't say it. Ela the Rav Litni. But
why would they call them Nizikim?
What do you mean?
I'm saying those 5 are payments on account of the damage.
Right, so it's part of the Nizik. Oh, so why is it called a special Nezik? Right. Yeah, in other words, it's 5 Tashlumi Nizik it should be. Because really, what the Tashlumi Nezik, the simple understanding is, Tashlumi Nizikin is because you cause 5 different types of damages. An Adam who hits his friend, right. He caused him a Nezik, he caused him a Tsar, he caused him a report. The Tashlumi is just a reflection of what it is. Right?
Those are avos.
Oh, so he learns his office. Yeah. All right. Says more Rav Litni Odom Litni. According to Rav holds that Odom is mentioned because it says Mave. Say more Tana Odom v'chol milad Odom. I mentioned Odom, so it includes everything of Odom. I don't have to mention Odom again. For the Rishai Nami Atana li Odom. It says Odom. Drink down the Odom. There's 2 Odoms. Yeah. Tana Odom Dazik Odom. Spoke about Odom who hits a Odom. That's regarding Chamish Nezikim in the 4 Shomer. Tani Adam, the Azik Shor. Let's speak about Adam where it's a Shor, it's woman. Right? That's what we're talking about. And that's our Mishnah. Says the Gemara, Yachi Shor Nami Litni Trey Gam Shor. So Bashar you should mention both. You should mention the two types. Litni Shor, Dazik Shor, Litni Shor, Dazik Odom. We never mentioned both. We just mentioned Shor once. Karen, Regel, Shane. We're not mentioning more. Why don't we mention when the Shor hits a Odom, when the Shor hits a Shor? So the Gemara, hi, mine. Well, how can you compare them? Ishlo Odom Dazik Shor, Nezik with the Mishalim. I understand. Odom Dazik Shor pays only Nezik. Odom Mishal Bodvar. There's 4 things that he pays. Meaning, in addition to the one, is another 4. Right? So, Ela Shor, Mali Shor Dazik Shor, Mali Shor Dazik Odom, Idividu Nezik with the Mishalim. They all pay the same thing, so there's no difference. There's no reason to mention it as a separate category. Now, the Gemara is going to ask soon, what about the 4 Shemim? The 4 Shemim are, right? Where does that fall in the category? 5 Chamisha Dvarim, Nezik Tsar, Ripushet Boishes, Odom Dazik Odom. The 4th Dvarim is Azik Shor. I want to speak about it there. What is the Shemim going to be? So that's the Gemara is asking right now. The Odom Dazik Shor Viktani. Hi, what about the Shemim talking about a shor because they didn't guard the shor the right way? It says more Tani Ezekut to be a dying, Tani Ezekut to be melee. There's a Zekut that happens by a dying, that he goes and hits the shor. That's the Odom mentioned in the Mishnah. Any other moment, he's mazik. And then there's a melee when he's a shomer, he's not guarding it properly. That's another one. Says the Gemara, you know what? Let's stop over here because we'll continue from the 24 Nizikin that come out. We'll continue Be'ez Hashem tomorrow. And something just to think about, hopefully maybe Shlomo will speak about, is the different numbers that we have. You have the number 4, according to our Tana. You have the number 13, according to our Bishayo. And according to our Bechia that we're going to be learning, starting from there tomorrow, you have 24. So something for us to be ma'ayin in the meaning of this number. Say Gomer Rabbi Yisai.